the way. Love is 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 the way. Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. What's good? What's popping? How are you doing? It is my favorite day of the week because I get to spend it with you. So thank you for joining on tonight. You know what we do. Welcome to the Bravo with Sheila Network. I am your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. And as always, these next 60 minutes, I am so happy and grateful you decided to pop in and share them with me. So as always, you know how we do. We believe in serving the triplets on tonight. I'm going to ask you to hit that like, subscribe, and share button so that you don't miss any amazing things that happen on the Bravo with Sheila Network. Invite a friend, grab a snack, pull up a chair, and we going to chat on tonight. I'm always happy that you decide to pop on with us. Want to give some shout outs on tonight. Of course, I'm always grateful that on Thursday nights, the captain's chair is yielded to me by our none other than Queen of Bravo herself, the pastor, Sheila Ingram, and we always give honor to whom honor is due. So let's give her a good bravo, as she would say. Also, we are shouting out on tonight. I want to say good evening and hello to the psalmist voice. What's good, everybody? That's my dude. How are you doing? Thank you for popping in and joining us. Also, our number one Bravette is in the house. Come on, Anae. Give it up. Give some love. Let's make it do what it do as always. And for those of you who are sitting up in the silent seats, not because it's where you choose to be, it's all right. We say happy Thursday to you too. Good evening and many, many blessings. So when you pop on, say hello, make a comment. Again, let's do that triplet thing that we do. We like, subscribe, and we share. Invite a friend like I did on tonight. Invite a friend to join us. As always, we are here to have real conversation with real resolutions. We come to just chat and grow together. This is a no judgment zone. We do not judge. We're not here to condemn. We are just here to talk, to share, and to grow. So on tonight, I'm excited and I'm grateful to have with me, and I'm gonna bring her up to the platform. She's a little. I'm a little biased, y'all. I'm a little biased. She's one of my faves. She is just an amazing person, beautiful individual. She used to be my son's teacher. We connected from day one. She became and we became, well, we were solid ever since then anyway, so we good. But she is also my poetic partner. She and I write together. We co-wrote our last book called Soul Poetry Matters of the Heart. And it is amazing. And I'm sure she's going to share a little bit. Maybe we'll talk about it, but we're going to see what it is. So she is none other than my girl, Antoinette Saunders. Give it up. Give her some Bravo Love Nation. Come on up. Come on up.
Lady Dawn.
What's poppin', mama?
I'm hanging in there. I was hustling trying to get here.
Doing what you do.
Excuse the frog that you hear.
It's all right.
Trying to get over this bronchial attack that I had, but I'm here.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad you made it. Above all, I'm glad you made it, because I'll be concerned. But I want you guys to. I know I can't. I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to behave. I don't know what that means, so
we're just gonna roll it.
Gonna get what you get. But we're going to be good. We're going to be good.
I got my backup. But I got my backup.
Okay.
I knew this was going to be a long
Listen, I make no promises, y'all.
No.
You never know what you're going to get with me, but you always kind of know what you're going to get with me. You're going to get me. Now, whatever that is, it just depends. But you're going to get me when you get me. So, but we are glad. I'm so glad that you were able to make it on tonight to join me for this good discussion that we're going to have tonight. I'm going to put on my good glasses so I can see, okay? Because I want to
Right.
I want to make sure I get the comments right so I can see.
Let me get my specs too. So,
All right,
so
go ahead.
I want to make sure I can hear. So let me get my eyes.
Oh, yes, you got to put them on so you can turn the volume up for you to see. Right. We all have we suffer from the same disease. I'm telling you, y'all, I don't know how this conversation gonna go. It might go right, might go left, but all I know is that it won't be wrong. The psalmist's voice says, "Let's go with the ginger." Yes, Lord. There's hallelujah. There's a worship in the ginger. The whole deliverance and anointment in the ginger.
Okay.
Yes,
I can hear now.
Okay, right. Now we could see what we're saying. Now we can see what we're saying.
Yeah, I can see.
That's how it goes.
Oh,
so on tonight, what our topic on tonight is we're going to talk about family ties. And the subject is family ties. Do they really bind us together? And this came about because, there's so many things that when you think about relationships that we go through. And I want you to know, I pulled my girl Antoinette in because I so value her voice, and she and I, as we share and as we grow, like I said, it was a teacher-parent relationship. Well, maybe for like 30 seconds. And then at the 31st second, it became sister, connection. And we've been rocking like that ever since. And when you mesh with someone, when you bond with someone, we didn't fully even know or understand what our real connection was. But the more that we are together and the more that we are growing in our sisterhood, we are finding we are like the same person in two different bodies.
Absolutely.
Our experiences are very much similar. Some, a lot of the ones that hit the heart are very similar. Yeah. So it's easy for me to be transparent and to be real and to be hold on. Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. It's easy for me to don't start, Toby. Don't. Pull it back together. It is easy for me to have deep, meaningful conversation with her because we connect in so many ways. So when it came to talking about family, and after us writing our solo, we both we were the two poets in our writing group, Harlem Girls Forever, the dopest writing group you've ever want to be a part of. Big up to Coach Pache and Dr. Elaine. But we were the two poets in a book that we wrote, Stepping Into Our Purpose. And that was our first connection as writers together and as poets. So when it came to soul poetry, it wasn't a question. We was like, we're going to do it. We said we was going to do it. And when it dropped in my heart at the right time. And I'm saying all this to say the connection that I have with her, I could not have with anyone else. And no matter how long I've been friends with other people, the friendship that I have with her is such a safe space that I can share things with her that I don't share with other people. Some things I've shared with her, I haven't even shared with people in my own family. So because of who she is and what she does and who she is to me, I was able, I felt led to bring her into this conversation so we can share and talk about the things that really bind us together. Because a lot of times, there's this saying, blood is thicker than water. And that's not really true most often.
Yeah, it's not always.
Come on now. Talk about it, Antoinette.
It's like you just hit home on so many points in that an instant connection. Within the first couple of minutes of meeting someone whether or not your spirits are going to align. And with me, my spirit will jump out or my spirit will sit still depending on who I meet. And just to tap on what you said when I first met you, not even 30 seconds in, 10 seconds into the lobby conversation at One World Middle School, I was like, okay, she's a keeper. Jalen, you're in trouble. We already knew right off the rip that there was some type of connection there between you and I, just me as his teacher and you as his mom. And so when you've kind of found your person to a degree, it. You feel it in your spirit. You feel it in your soul that there's just something about that person that makes you feel safe, gives you a sense of comfort, non-judgmental. And it creates a space where you can at this point, take the lace front off, although I don't have one, but we're going to use that as a figure of speech. Take the lace front off, honey, and just let it be what let it be what it's going to be. And it's so important that when you find that, that you hold on to it. So when you say that, the saying, like you said, blood is thicker than water, that is not always the case. Mm-hmm. It's not always the case, because sometimes water has a continuity, sometimes that blood does not.
Come on now.
Water does have a type of consistency to it that blood sometimes does not. Blood can be coagulated sometimes. Blood can flow freely depending on what's happening at the core of who you are. But there's a sense of consistency with water. You kind of always know what you're going to get when the water runs. And so when you can find a connection, it is so important, so important. And I'm glad that you and I were able to connect in a very weird, quick, immediate kind of way. And it's never been the same since. And so relationships and friendships like yours, you learn to treasure and you learn to place value on it, which a lot of people don't do very often. So when you do, it's definitely beneficial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I could not agree more. And even as you're breaking down the differences in blood and water, blood don't always flow so easily. Sometimes you need, a blood thinner. I do believe that's what they say. Okay. So when we talk about blood being thicker than water and these family ties, sometimes you're going to need something to thin up the flow, because and sometimes there's a blood clot.
That's right. Blocking. It's blocking the flow.
And it's in the blood, right? And so it's the family. It's the family. Whereas the water, water flows very easily, smooth, it is light.
Water flushes.
Come on now.
Okay, we're not here to have church tonight, but if we do, we're going to let the Lord do what he do.
Listen, it's Thursday night with Ladies on P on the Bravo Network. We do what we do. Whatsoever happens.
Come on.
We got the ministry channel, the SIM Sheila Ministry. It's across the street. It's directly across the street.
Okay. Okay. I got to get my car.
Sometimes, the crossing guard brings us, to the middle to where we meet. So I'm just saying. But it's so true. Water does it refreshes, it does. And so sometimes we have to go to what refreshes us over what binds us together. And the psalmist's voice says, blood isn't always the ties that bind. He said, my shando is rising.
Okay,
my shande.
Come on, my shande.
His shande is rising. Don't play. Because he will, he will.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that one. I want to let you know, Psalmist's voice is going to be coming on with the men's lounge. He's going. It's going to be Lord help us.
Oh Lord,
it's going to be tight.
I love it. He'll be right.
Yeah, you're gonna make me run. You're gonna make me run tonight. You're gonna make me run. I feel Jesus. He also says, off the rip, let's go. Says East Coast lyricism. That's right. We flows up here.
This is how it goes down.
The poetic partnership is what we do, and that's PATNA. The partnership.
Right. Get the spelling correct on that.
Hey now. Hey now. Mm-hmm. But it is true. But yet, we often keep that saying in mind, and we bring it up. And it is, I believe it is in a lot of cases, again, just not true. It should be what binds us together with each other. But the truth of the matter is that so many issues rise up within families. We don't allow people to be people.
Just be who they are.
And because you my family, or sometimes we are too much of who we are. And we take it for granted because it is our families, and because we're tied to them and they're tied to us, that they're just supposed to take whatever we give them. And that is not always the truth. Like there is a lack of, we've changed, that respect and that regard and that honor that we've removed from the family. Those are the things that should really bind us together. Not just because we're a family, or my brother or my sister or my cousin, you know, but it should be respect and honor and regard. And speaking of family, I want to shout out my big brother Donald, number 2 or 4.
All
He's
right.
up in the house. Minister Donald's in the place. What's poppin', big bro? He's a part of the men's lounge. Also, good to see you. And I'm
Awesome.
gonna ask that we like, subscribe, and share. You know how we do that. You know, we hit that trio. We do things in
Trio,
triplet here. Like,
three,
like, subscribe, share.
that Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Hey, come on.
Like, subscribe, share. Let's get it. Let's get
Make
it.
it happen. Let God be God. But you know, it's those things that those are the things, you know, honor, respect, that really should be what bind us, whether we are family or
Mhm.
not. And it is really sad that often we find, and especially in today's times and cultures, that honor, respect, and loyalty, they are not even what is they don't know anything about that. You know, they don't know anything about it. Sometimes, you know, okay, I'm gonna be me. Sometimes that people don't even know how to spell those things,
Correct.
more or less what they look like, you know,
100%.
which is really, really sad. But I want to ask you, in your opinion and in your understanding, what is family loyalty if you had to describe it? Or what should it be? What should it look like? Because people don't know what that looks like anymore. And sadly, even us as adults in this time and
Mm.
age that we live in, we don't know what family loyalty really looks like anymore.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind for me, Dawn, honestly, is a sense of safety, a safety net, a safe haven. So, yes, I will have your back in public, but behind closed doors, I'm gonna let you know that your right was wrong.
Mm.
It's a sense of safety, like that. We're all allowed to make mistakes. We're
Mhm.
all allowed, because there's no perfect being, right? There's only one perfect being. He sits high and looks low. Only one perfect. But don't hold me hostage to my mistakes. Don't hold me hostage to my past. And don't be angry when you're not equipped to go where God has taken me. So embrace my change.
Right.
Don't hold it against me. Don't make it something negative, because it doesn't have to be that way. And I think a lot of times in families, we get so accustomed to a person being a certain way
Mm-hmm.
that when that person may make a change for the better, it's not always supported. It's criticized on the low. It's the slick comment on the side.
Oh,
It's the
see.
DL dig with a smile, like, oh, I was just joking. No, honey, the truth
Right, we
is totally.
playing.
Yeah, I was just playing. No, you
Mm-hmm.
meant what you said, and you
Like, I
said what
see
you meant.
you.
Uh-uh. And I
Like,
think,
walk me to my car and tell me how you playing.
tell me right,
Let's
exactly.
go. Let's go walk it off. Talk about
I just think family is the one place where you should be able to just come and be who you are and lay your cards on the table and say, listen, I'm struggling. And rather than to, oh, get it together, you'll be fine. Rather than that be the response. How about, well, then let's talk about it. The same way that my water would flow with my friend
it. Come on.
is how I would want my water to flow with my family. But it's not always the case, because there's a lot of underlying envy and jealousy and
That part.
hatred amongst family members that we won't address it. We won't lay the cards on the table, because then that means we have to be accountable for certain things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I have found is family does not always like to take accountability for our actions and the role that we play in certain demises of relationships. And so it's hard to have a grown up conversation with someone who doesn't take accountability. It's like talking to a brick wall. Those
Mm-hmm.
words just keep bouncing back. So, the first thing that comes to my mind would be a sense of safety. Just, I need to feel safe and supported. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of family values. And what does that look like, as opposed to that one sailing ship by herself or himself all the time?
Right.
You're tired of sailing alone. Sometimes you need that tugboat on the side.
Ciao.
Sometimes something as simple as that.
Sometimes.
But like you said, a lot of us don't even know what that is anymore, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's doing their own thing.
And
Everybody's
you're
doing
right.
their own thing.
Right. No, that was so good and so rich, and you hit on so many topics that I have notes on in this conversation. You know, I think for me also the key thing in family loyalty is us creating safe spaces for each other.
Yeah.
But that requires us to be selfless, and
Correct.
as far as,
Excuse me.
like you said, we should, our relationship and family should be able to flow like the waters of our friendships that do, and often it's not that way because our friends, we should learn from home how that water flows. Not the first exposure that we have to a free flowing relationship should not be from the outside. It should be
100%
from the inside.
from the inside.
Yeah. Because if you're not safe with your brothers and sisters, you go out into a world as a very defensive individual,
Yes, ma'am, you do.
trusting no
Yes,
one.
yes,
And
ma'am, you
it's
do.
crazy that the loyalties that we have sometimes in these ties that bind, and I'm a maybe spice up a little bit, is when I think about the family ties and what really binds us. Some of the things in the family ties that bind us are the secrets that we keep.
Trauma bonded.
There you go. There you go. That go from generation to
Generation.
generation that nobody talks about, you know, uh
Taboo to talk about it. Don't bring that up. What happens in this house stays in this house.
hmm
What happened
hmm
back then is not important. I don't want to talk about it. How are you
right.
expected to grow and change if we don't talk
And you're right. How do we? No, but again, nobody wants to confront it because you have to take, as you said, accountability, and we have to become selfless.
about it?
We
Correct.
have to become vulnerable. And if I can't be vulnerable with my family, who can I possibly be vulnerable with? If I can't, if my inner sanctum and my safe place
Yes.
is broken, how can I then what do I learn? How can I then go out and formulate or emulate that in other relationships, in friendships? No, I enter into the relationships or the friendships already, like you said, with a trauma.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be, I know how to be a limited friend,
Correct.
because
Yeah.
I have learned how to encase myself in this space, already believing that no one can be trusted, and or I don't feel safe, or we look for false safety,
Yeah.
a little bit safety we can trust. I want to post up
Yeah.
excuse me, a comment. My brother said family loyalty should take precedence before anyone,
Correct.
because that's who's there from the beginning,
Yeah.
middle, and end. And that's true,
Yeah.
Donald, and that it should be. But I find that through generations, and even sometimes in the generation that we're in, or the space that we're in, while that should be how it is, often it's not, because there's so much conflict and controversy, and like you said, there's jealousy that comes up. Who I am is not gonna it doesn't take away from who you are. So
Mhm.
why are we not even fighting for the same spot?
One's
I
on the
mean, Donald is
service road. Listen, one's on the service road and one's on the highway,
right.
but we're still going in the same direction. Where's the competition?
Right. And no road is better than the other. Don't
No,
be mad because I'm on the highway and you on the side. Listen, we all gonna get to where we going,
that's right. That's right.
and we are so often bound by those experiences that we
Correct.
have in the home, that again, when we go outside and we have different relationships,
We take it with us.
we continue, right, we take it with us, and then we repeat it.
Yep.
And then we have families and children of our own and wonder why our marriage is jacked up, and when because you are repeating that cycle,
That's right.
because it's what we have learned to do and to be. Psalmist the voice says transparency
Yeah,
is the major issue with blood.
that's right.
My God.
100,000% agree.
It is.
100% agree.
It
Transparency
is.
is key.
Right. And we have to learn, but it's funny how we struggle with transparency, and I can say I'm guilty of this. I'm learning how to, I've come a long way, but it's funny how we have a problem being transparent with those who are family or close to us,
Hmm.
but yet we will be completely open and vulnerable with people outside. And from my experience, I feel that that comes from the fact that we feel that there's less, either no judgment
Yes, I
or
couldn't.
less
Yes,
judgment,
yes, that's it.
and these are issues in the house
Correct.
that we have. And again, we grow up this way, you know, um, and it affects every relationship, that we ever have,
It does.
you know. What say you? Share. I want.
I mean, you're hitting everything on the nose. It starts at home. Everything starts at home. Just to segue in, just like me being a teacher, right, and being exposed to so many children and building relationships with children, lifelong relationships with children,
Yes.
they come to us already with a sense of understanding of how things are supposed to be or how they're supposed to act, what respect may look like, what discipline looks like, what honesty looks like. They already kind of come to us with a notion of what it looks like because it's supposedly taught at home. So
Mm-hmm.
now they come to us with a skewed view of how certain things are because you can only learn but so much. Your parents can only teach you what they know. I
Right.
can't pour from an empty cup. So I can only give you what I've got. And when they don't know any better, trickles down to the children who in
Mm-hmm.
turn don't know much better. They come to us and then we try to change the mindset about certain things and give them different perspectives about certain things. So now we battle with, well, I'm at school, they tell me to do X, Y, and Z, but when I come home, mommy says, or dad says. So of course we know mom and dad are the big dogs. They have the final say. But it starts at home
Right.
where there's that word accountability. That's right. At what point can we say, it goes back to the transparency? When do we say, I don't know how to do it? And realize that it's okay to say, I don't know.
Right.
Because you don't know that you don't know it until you realize you don't know it, if
That's
that
it.
makes any sense at
It
all.
does. It
Right.
does.
I don't know what I don't know till I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that.
So somebody showed me I didn't know it.
Somebody shows me that I didn't know. So it's just it weaves, everything weaves in there: transparency, accountability, respect, understanding, non-judgmental. Like all of these things are the fabrics in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the fabric pieces that build that quilt of safety.
Right. Right.
And you pull one thread and the whole doggone thing gets to
Oh,
unraveling. Now we out here butt ball naked,
hey
no
now.
blanket, no nothing, just butt ball naked
Back in Adam and Eve days.
from one little string. Like, so now what do we do? Now what do
Right.
we do?
Right.
Well, that's why finding those relationships outside the home, although I agree it definitely should start at home, but finding them outside the home sometimes could be the best thing that's ever happened to you.
It is. And it's so, like you said, it's so priceless and so valuable, and to me, it says that it's not there's a degree of
Yeah,
family ties that bind us again. But for me,
absolutely.
I'm like, what is that tie that's binding you? Are we bound, like I said, by the secrets or the lies or the negative things we're not supposed to talk about? Or are we bound to each other?
Mm.
Are we just bound because we're family and
Because
it's
the
supposed to be
blood.
some loyalty because we bear the same name, we got the same daddy, so I'm supposed to just,
I'm supposed to.
or is it we are bound together by the love, the respect, and the honor, that we have for each other? And you segued so well because I wanted to definitely share again. That's another reason why I was so glad that you were able to come on because you are an educator, and that is so key because you see daily, the product
Yeah,
of these family ties. You deal with daily,
yeah,
and like when we were talking, about the content of the show, and I was saying, you have a unique ability as a teacher and as an educator, such a unique spot. It's no longer you can just teach, the ABCs and one, two, threes. You're now teaching kids life and personal development. You're now adding an element to them as an individual that they may not be
yeah.
getting at home,
So
you
true.
know, and they become tied to that because you may be the first person that ever told them you can do this. You are loved. Like, you are beautiful. You're a handsome young man. You're smart, and you may be the only one that takes that time to really show them, not just say it, but navigate them through that until they believe it, you know, and that space has to be very difficult, you know, at times, because you get to see how much the generation just does not know.
And being a teacher for so long, 21 years, September of this year made 21 years. I have, like you said, generationally, each generation of children that I've come across, I guess for lack of a better way to describe it, it's because it's diminishing. Like
Mhm.
the things that we would consider normal for us as children growing up, like you say yes, you say no, you say excuse me when you walk in a room, you knock. When you walk in a room, you speak first, you say please, you say thank you. Those things that you and I did like clockwork, every generation of children I've taught, I see such a difference. It's diminishing. They talk
Mhm.
now, bro. Hold on. What's my name? Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Look, my bad. I never would have
Who
said
that?
my bad to my teacher.
Who bro?
Wait, what? Right? Who's bro?
Because I
Bro,
ain't wake up a
who?
man today. I
Bro,
didn't
man.
wake up a man today.
Bro, man from the fifth floor. Who?
Right.
Who are you talking about? Bro, man from the fifth. What we doing? What we doing?
Right. Because I still woke up a woman today.
The
Still.
last time I had checked,
Yes.
it was
Yes.
Antoinette. Right?
Hey.
Tony with an I, not with a Y. I'm trying to understand what is happening here. The lines that separate children from adults
Mm-hmm.
is becoming so thin.
It does.
It is becoming so thin, and it's so hard to see the basic. Like one student, today in the midst hates spoken word, hates my class, dropped the F-bomb. So I put him on the spot. I blew him all the way up,
Mm. I know
and he
you.
didn't know what to do with himself. I said, I'm going to match your energy. I want you to see what you look like and what you sound like. Because the same F bomb you dropped to me, let's call mommy and let's drop it on her. No, but why? Why is it okay to drop it on me and not okay to drop it on mommy? A
Mm-hmm.
level of respect. It's a level of respect. And again, we just keep going around the same little circle. It starts at home.
Right.
It starts at home. I can't do the job of mom and dad. I can show you a different route, but I can't take your foundation from you, which starts at home. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just diminishing. The foundational building is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and it makes it so hard. So when I am able to connect with a child and build a relationship, and I've had many a student say, Miss Tony, I'm so grateful for spoken word with you because you gave me a space to get some stuff off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard you actually wanted to hear what I had to say. I go home and my mother don't even talk to me. She sends me
Right.
straight to my room. Like these are the little things that I've heard. So when I have those moments of, oh my God, I can't wait to retire, it's moments like that I'm like, this is why I do it.
Right.
This
Right.
is why I teach for that relationship and for that student that graduates and then comes back because they want to check on me or see if I'm still at the school and let me know how they're doing. So it's so many prongs to this ties that bind. So
Mm-hmm.
many you have the teacher student relationship, like you said. Then you get your teacher parent relationship that develops into a lifelong sisterhood.
Hey now.
Right? You get so many relations. I have a relationship with extended family of children, grandparents, aunts and uncles that remain in contact. So it's just this whole family thing is so broad
It
that
is.
it's hard to sometimes narrow it down to one specific thing. However, that circle that we keep coming back to,
It's
home.
the core, right, at home. And but to some students, you are home, unfortunately, because the truth is, even with this,
I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm looking at what the psalmist said. Songwriter said, "Who can I run
who
to?"
can I run to, bro? Who can I? My God,
Yes.
who can I? Jesus, that's a whole word.
That's a whole word right
Listen,
there.
I'm about to tell him pop on. Come on, I'm gonna drop the list.
Please
Come on and preach
join
it,
us.
sir. I don't know if y'all ready for it. I
Absolutely.
don't know if you're ready for Psalmist. Psalmist, you gotta do.
No, okay.
No,
I
you
ain't got
ready.
enough.
You
I
ready.
ain't
Y'all
got enough
listen,
gym
y'all gonna get the good psalmist one way or another. Y'all gonna get him. Whether ready or not, you're gonna get him. Trust
I
me.
love it. I love
No, he's amazing. He's amazing. But yes, who can I run to?
it.
And
Ooh.
in what you do, you become that person that students can run to, that people can run. And it's not just because you are a teacher. Because one thing that I would always tell Jalen, and because you experienced him, you are a part of his village, yeah. And by the way, you talking about the students who come back, yeah, I'm sending him back. I'm sending him
Oh,
back.
we'll talk about that later.
Okay, that's another show.
That's a
Uh,
whole.
but I would always tell him, and I'm that mother. I don't play. I'm
Right. I
absolutely
know.
old school. I don't
I
do it.
know.
Don't do it. I tell him they don't get paid to care.
Mm,
They
mm,
don't have to. They're paid to teach you. Their paychecks don't change whether you get an A or an F. It doesn't make a difference. They are not paid to care. So when they care, again, that blood and water.
mm-hmm.
When that water, when they care, when the water starts to care like the blood should,
Mm,
you need to take complete advantage of that.
100%.
And sometimes again you might be, and I not tooting my own horn, but my
Tune
son is fortunate. I've the feedback that I get in every school he's ever been in, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I wish we had more
Parents
parents like
like
you,
you.
because
Right.
listen, y'all know you call me before you even hang up the phone, I'm there.
Coming through the door. That's right.
What? It's the last thing you want, but the first thing you get, because it's about the family and reinforcing, and expanding that village and that unit. Donald says that happens when when trust is taken out of the family circle and transfers to friends.
That's right.
And that's so true. But again, these ties that we're supposed to have and be bound to, because we are blood, because we share the same name, we have to again become accountable. You have to take inventory of yourself. Like, what is this dynamic? What are we gonna be? Because if we saying we bound together, listen, I don't care who you are. You disturb my peace, you gotta go. It's just
Non-negotiable.
we can bear the same name, spelled the same way, born on the same day at the same time. I care not. You know, if it's that important to you, then you need to hear and see and understand how whatever you're doing or whatever you're saying is affecting
Definitely.
me, because I don't want to be bound
Nope.
to negativity. I don't want to be bound to a weight. I don't want to be bound, to those things that are counterproductive to me living. I don't want to. I don't feel like I should have to shrink so you can shine. I shouldn't have to so you can live. I'm saying, because these are the things. These are
Oh,
the things. Talking about that trust is taken. Sometimes that trust is never built. If we are the tie that binds and we're all that we have, then why are we not treating each other like we're
like
all we
all
have?
that we have.
Why is it so hard for you to salute or celebrate me, and you
Well,
might want me to salute or celebrate you?
and respect is earned. It's not given. We have a T-shirt
Mm,
at school. It says respect is earned, not given.
That's true.
You
And it doesn't matter. But when we're born into a family, people think it's automatic. It's
right,
automatic. And you're just
right.
supposed to respect me. And why? And why is
Uh,
that? And please tell me.
and don't
But I
and
mean, I'm
don't.
I'm 404. I'm number 404. I have the same respect for my brothers and sisters today. That's how my father used to, because he forget everybody's name. When he gets mad,
Number four, number
angry
three.
Bayesian man. It's
Love
like
it.
you. After a while, it's just you.
Child, come here.
Right. That one. you
Child.
know.
Right.
But we were taught that we were all that we had.
Yeah.
As we get older, and to this day, I still, and my brother's on here. Mama Rose is on here. This
I
is my
know.
blood for real. My blood and my water. This
That's
is,
right. That's right.
and I'm fortunate. Doesn't not that we've always been well, we've always been close. We've always had a bond,
Okay.
even when we don't get along. But in that bond, sometimes again, some of us, sometimes in the family, we have some trauma bonds, and I
Mhm.
will say that openly,
Mhm.
freely. Um, we do have some things that we've experienced that is part of what sometimes our pain is what binds us together
Yeah.
within this family.
Okay.
But you got to get to a point where you don't want that to be the tie that's keeping you
Right.
together. Like, when do we decide to sit down and work through stuff? My sister and I had an impromptu, unexpected kind of healing session one day. We
Right.
had been doing a little, um, adult beveraging. You know,
Okay.
yeah, we did. This was years ago. It was many many moons ago.
Take
we
it
were
through the
we
too,
were
baby.
adult beveraging that night, and something came up, and I had a whole moment. But it took that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I just was like, I don't want to carry this no more. I just don't like. I don't want it on me. So we were able to transfer whatever the negative tie was into a healing space, and now we had like a beautiful bow that's binding us together. And having that space. Um, and like my brother said, when trust is taken out of the family circle, it does transfer to friends, because I shared what I had experienced with friends before like I said, before I shared it with my family. So we have to be very careful and mindful of those things. Oh, here comes the wisdom now. Here comes the wisdom. Mama Rosa says, I think we lost, and I don't know why she's not on here because I invited her. I'm just saying. Um, I think we lost a lot of what family is supposed to mean when we were separated and had to survive. That's true. True.
Mm.
That's a good point in perspective. It might not be acceptable to everyone, but think about it. Slavery meant survival.
Well, she's got a point. She
But that's
definitely,
where the
yeah.
wisdom comes. The wisdom comes. And I,
Survival
I
mode.
believe it's true. Go ahead.
Survival mode, and by any means necessary. So I'm going to do whatever it is I have to do in order to keep my head above water. So, Mama
hmm
Rosa, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. It becomes a survival type situation, and it goes back to what you said earlier, Dawn, about when we come from that chaotic situation, we already step out into outside relationships with a wall built up.
hmm
So I'm already coming out with bullets in the chamber. Now you mess around, I might have to pull the trigger, but just know that I'm locked and loaded. And we shouldn't have to walk around like that, always in defense mode or always
hmm
preparing for the worst because we're used to the worst.
Right. Right.
So again, it's very cyclical. It just becomes a serious cyclical state of affairs, and sometimes it's so hard to disembark from that merry-go-round because you're afraid to step off. We fear the unknown, and we're afraid sometimes to step off and try something different or let that guard down because we're afraid of getting hurt already. I know I can speak for self, honey. I got the
What?
Tibetan wall. I don't even know what you
Fort
call
Knox,
walls in China. What you call that famous wall in whatever the wall is in China?
Early Wall, all the wall.
All them walls, honey. All them walls.
Right. I got there. We
Have
got
been built up around me, but that's not who I am to my core.
there.
And it's unfortunate, but because of relationships, with friends and family, I feel the need that becomes my safe haven. If you can't provide the safety for me, I'm going to provide
Right.
the safety for self.
This is how I'm doing it.
This
This
is
is
how I'm
exactly
doing
how
it,
I'm doing it.
to make sure that I guard my heart, because so many times I haven't guarded my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I've continued to give people the benefit of the doubt, thinking that people are going to treat me the way I treat them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I get mad when they don't treat me the way I treat them. And that's my fault because I shouldn't have the expectations of anyone being like me.
That's
So
true.
learning to meet people where they are, like
That's
that's a whole nother,
that's a whole nother show.
show, trying to meet people
That
where
could
they
be, that could be at the 8 o'clock hour.
are. Oh, child, wait a minute now. Well, my bedtime be
But
7:49,
it's true.
but it's true. Family ties, it's same
Not
thing.
not tonight though. Not
Got thank you, Jesus. Gotta be. It gotta
tonight.
be. It has to start somewhere.
Right.
When do
We
we
have
do
to
we
think
ever get out
about.
of survival mode though? Do we ever step out of survival mode?
Now that's a pause and reflect moment, as Pastor Sheila would say. That's a pause and reflect. Do we?
Do we
Um.
ever?
hmm. I don't think we ever step out of it. I think we either it becomes a part of the fabric of who we are, so it's not as weighty. It becomes our norm, and the more you do something, the less the you become desensitized to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even
No,
registering as
it's like,
survival mode. It's this is my norm, this is my standard now. I've,
mm,
I've become adjusted to just
mm,
this space, and this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be. um and we shouldn't have to. I mean, there's always a level of survival mode that we should be in. To me, at this point in life, the only survival mode that I should really be existing in at this point in my life is when I'm pushing to those things that I want to achieve that are before me. I'm trying to survive through the shifting, the transitioning.
mm, mm-hmm.
I shouldn't still be having to try to survive the day to day,
Or
right in the past, and still dealing. We should not. Our survival should be, I'm fighting now so that I can live later, but live better. You know,
mm,
in my opinion and in my feelings.
yeah,
But the whole slavery point is so key,
it is.
and like I said, and even the survival mode. Do we have to still keep doing this?
Are there levels to survival mode?
That's a pause moment.
Are there levels to survival?
There
Are
are.
we at the point now in our lives where we are living and not surviving? Because for so long, for me, I was going through the motions, just surviving day to day, just trying
Girl.
to get through every second of the day. I didn't know what living was. And for me, that became a result of my mom passing, right? That's a whole nother
Mm,
situation. But
gotcha.
for 15 years, my mother's been gone about 17. For 15 of those 17, I was surviving. And I'm wondering now, am I learning what it means to truly live? Am I learning that? Have I learned it? Is it a process? Like, am I at a point where I can leave the past in the past? Don't worry about the ties that bind, ties that are triple tied and untied and trip me up. Do I
Come on.
no longer worrying about those ties?
Mm-hmm.
Am
Mm-hmm.
I at a place now? Can I safely and genuinely say that I'm at a place now where I'm learning to live
That's good.
and live without those ties that bound me?
That's good. That's good. And that is key. That is actually the heart of this whole discussion. That right there is learning to live without those ties that bind us, to stop carrying on the expectations of the path
Yes.
that the past has set for us.
Mm-hmm.
And again, learning that we teach our children. um our parents worked really hard.
Yes.
We're always working, so much so that sometimes they're working and they weren't in the home. And they worked more than they were home because they were trying to create a home for us to have.
Yeah.
And it puts everyone in a mode of surviving. And I too find myself at a place where I'm learning how to live.
Mm-hmm.
I shared last time, at this age and stage, I kind of like stopped living my life when I got pregnant with my son, and everything came about him, and it was surviving because
Mm-hmm.
mentally I shut down,
Yes.
emotionally I shut down,
100%.
physically I shut
Yeah.
down. Stuff was going on in my body that I didn't even understand, and then even after I
Mm-hmm.
had him, this one thing is triggering another thing, and I was like, oh Jesus, all right, well, what is this and why? So many things, and I shut down so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to get to it, but I still had to make it day by day.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was like, I can't die here, because now it's not just me I have to take care of. I have a whole life, a whole
Yeah.
human being that I have to now care for.
Right.
And so in order to get through that season, very long season, very tumultuous season, as we know, I should I should be bald and like a size 2, and like talking to myself within talking to myself. You know it's true. That's why. Because of the things in my survival, but I was surviving.
Yeah.
I had to, because I didn't want to deal with the pain of,
Yep.
the situation. I didn't want to deal with I don't have time to deal with the pain of this divorce. Like, what we doing? I don't like you no more. You don't
Mm-hmm.
like me no more. Like, well, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring me the paper. You want me to get the paper? Who wants to get the paper? Whatever it is. I didn't have time to feel those things. The only
Right.
thing I
Right.
didn't disconnect from was God, honestly. And
Right.
and it's not because I didn't even try, because I did. I was like, I'm about to
Me
go
too.
live my best life, God, because
What? What?
I couldn't even bring myself to do it. What I thought was
Do
gonna
it.
be my worst, God was like, go sit down. Right.
Convicted. Convicted. At the mere thought, you
What
felt something tap you
I
upside
got
the
out
head.
the
Like,
door.
really? You playing? You playing? You
I
playing?
I got
Right.
out the door, but I didn't get to where I was going.
No,
So it was like,
exactly.
oh, let me take
100%.
myself back up these stairs. Just to be okay. you know but for me,
Yeah.
that was my lifeline. And again, it wasn't even because I didn't want to. It's just
Right.
because of the purpose that was in me, honestly. And it's for everyone, anyone, but y'all know I'm a God girl, so just telling
That's
my
right.
story.
That's right.
That was what kept me,
Mm-hmm.
because even in that, I had to think of the things I saw my mother, and I know she doesn't mind, and this is our truth. I saw my mother stay in a marriage that
Mm.
broke her down in so many ways for the sake of her children.
Children.
She had a few nervous breakdowns, and her survival or her press, and she has shared this. So I'm not sharing anything she hasn't shared. I would never
Mm-hmm.
violate her trust. But I watched her go through that for the sake of her children, so that we would have what we needed and
Mm.
we would be cared for. The lesson that I got from that was I didn't want that for me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't ever want to feel like I watched my mother feel. So when I got into, when my marriage started going in the way that looked familiar,
Mm-hmm.
what I saw in my own home, I was like, oh, heck no, I'm
Oh
out of
no,
here.
you're not doing this.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm. And one
Mm-hmm.
day me and my mother had a talk. And again, this is what binds us, because we can repeat the behaviors that are shown to
Behavior.
us,
That's
that we've experienced. And she wasn't
right.
wrong for
Mm-hmm.
what she did. She did what she had to do to survive. For
Right.
me, I couldn't do it. I didn't have the strength to do that. And we had a conversation one day. We were going somewhere. I was driving and we were talking. And she looked at me. She said, she said, I commend you. She said, I really have to give you credit. She said, because you did something that I could never do. And I was like, what was that? And she
Mm.
said, you left. And I was like, wow, Ma. I said, well, you know what, Mommy? I said, it's amazing because you're my hero, because you did something that I could never do. You stayed.
You stayed. Right. Right.
Right, you stayed. Like, I didn't have the strength to do that. I tried. I said, because of my son, I didn't want him to grow up in this or whatever. But again,
Right.
it's what binds us together. And I know she did not want any of us to suffer through what she had gone through. She had already paid the price. She didn't want
That's right.
her children to do it
Yeah.
again. So we have to be willing to break these ties or be the sacrifice at times,
Mm-hmm.
and then free
Mm-hmm.
the next generation, to move forward better than what we did. Um, the
Correct.
psalmist voice says,
Mm-hmm.
he's back. He says,
Yes.
when you have received a personal heart transplant in God, some things will stick closer, because another songwriter said, I have 99 problems, but blood's not one.
Come on, psalmist.
Help me, somebody.
Yes, yes,
Help
yes,
me,
yes.
somebody.
God. He
Help me,
ain't never
somebody.
lie.
Come on, sir. I'm
He
about to
ain't
send him
never
some
lie.
juice and a towel and an offering. So if you want to sow
Listen,
your offering, because
come
sir is preaching and
on.
singing tonight.
Yes, he is. That's so true. It's so
It
true.
is. It is. It is absolutely true. That heart transplant,
Ooh.
that's the problem with most of us. The, the,
Mm-hmm.
the, the problems in the world is really, matters of the heart. Again,
Heart.
no plug on our book, but
Nope.
it's
Right.
it's
But that's what it is.
that's what it is. It's the matters of our
Out
heart.
of the heart, so a man speaketh. Ain't that what the word?
Hey now,
Ain't
come
that what
on.
the word say?
That is in the text. It's in the text.
And it's written, it is so, Selah.
And
Touchdown.
we pause to reflect.
That's it.
You know, we have to fix the conditions of our heart, but we should not keep paying the price and be bound to the traumas and the negativities of the past.
Correct.
You know, instead of passing those down, some of us have to be the strong ones in order to break the chain and do different. Um, you know, I was writing earlier and I was saying when it comes to identity, um, it's locked into our genetics, into our DNA, into our upbringing, and yet as we grow, we change. You know, and we should change. And as you're changing, even some of the ties that bind us to family, that bind us to our past, those changes that we go through tend to, when I feel like sometimes when they start breaking you away from, when they start loosening those ties that bind, you know, family becomes very nervous because they don't want to lose you, because you have the strength sometimes to do something that they could not do. Sometimes we're afraid to be courageous, you know.
I have a question. Is it that, what do you, I'm just throwing it out there because every situation is different. Is it that you're afraid that you don't want to lose me, or you don't want to lose what I do for you? I'm just saying.
Do you want to okay, I'm gonna take my glasses off for that one. Did you? Because I don't need to read my thoughts for that one. Did you want me to answer that? Were you talking to me?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh Jesus, no, that no. See,
because we know that sometimes family will grab that coattail, child, and ride and gallop and ride like that cold horse in Central Park. That
what?
In Central Park. Right, shivering. They will not let go, baby. They gonna hold on till the wheels.
They gonna keep that wool blanket to the last.
Come on,
last fiber.
Last fiber. Right.
See?
So is it that you really you don't want to lose me, because if you really valued and loved and cherished who I am as your family, we wouldn't have the points of contention that certain family members have, right? And just like you said, there's always that one to break the cycle. So you got your black sheep of the family, and then you got your white sheep of the family. The white sheep is the one that breaks it. The black sheep is the one that always want to go left when everybody's going right. We always got one in the family. Always have one.
Everybody. Sometimes you're that one.
Sometimes correct.
Sometimes we're that one.
Because the 99% is going to the left, and we that one little percent that's shuffling to the right the whole time.
Sometimes you get two steps.
So it makes you question your relationships. Like, do you value me, and are you feeling this way because you truly value me, or are you missing me because of what I'm able to provide for you?
Again, and that's a tie that binds. It binds us. Sometimes we are bound by that obligation. We feel obligated, you know. And I think it is so important that because you can control. We very much have control over what we are obligated to.
Correct.
I'm not responsible for how you receive my response. I'm only responsible for my response.
And I'm just understanding that now. And I'm just being able now to wrap my head around that. Because it would bother me if someone received what I said the wrong way. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And I don't want to make anybody feel a certain type of way. I want you to understand me. And when you didn't understand me, I thought it was my problem.
Right.
Because that's what I was used to being made to feel like.
And usually because one person perceived you that way and shared it with someone else before that other person had the chance to even make an assessment and a decision about you.
Correct.
You know, or about the situation, because we show up in situations differently.
We sure do. We sure do. We sure do.
That's a real good question. That's a deep question. Were you talking to me? Because
if you got the answer, I would like to know.
Okay, because I will tell you. I will tell.
Talk to me, honey. Talk to me.
In my experience, I would say I question that a lot of times. I really do. And
Mm,
even as I get older, and even honestly, talking about family, and again, I'm being transparent. I haven't listened. There is therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. I'm like
mm,
anything, and I rest on that, and that scripture frees me all the time because it allows me to be transparent in my experience. So in answering that question, I would tell you that I question that about every relationship that I have and people that come in and out of my life, even
mm,
my own child,
mm,
who I carried birth, and all of that, raised, take care of. He's 21, and I still, it me that you miss or are concerned about, or is it what I do for you?
mm,
You know, and sometimes I have to say, even to him, like, okay, well, what do you know about your mother?
mm,
Because if all you know is that I provide, if all you know is that mommy takes care of it, if all you know is that she's where I go, if
mhm.
all you see me as is a resource, you know you will never embrace me, respect me, or honor me
The way you show
as
your mother.
the person that when I do this, it may hurt mom's feelings. Or you know what? I'm at the store. I know she likes this. Let me just bring it. I don't even have to ask her. I'm just gonna bring. You know what I mean? Like those type of things. So in the matter of like, is it me or is it what I do for you? I've reevaluated a lot of things, and while I know a lot of people,
Mhm.
and I hold people very close in my heart,
Me too.
but I don't allow everybody in my space
I'm learning that.
because I know for a fact that what draws you to me is what you want from me.
Mm,
That's because sometimes I'm just a task, or I'm a task fulfiller.
mm.
You
Wow.
need
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and you see I can do it.
So let
So
me.
right.
Mhm.
But when you invest on saying, "Hey, Dawn, you have such a big heart," or "I love this about you,"
Right.
and it's not that you see me first versus what I do, and that's how I've learned to decipher the difference between those who will miss me for me versus what I do. Because if I, I'm not the only one God made, and this is actually a message God gave me.
Okay.
I was kind of struggling with something. Me and the enemy was having a little fight, and because he's always threatening and whatnot. And this is real transparent. I'm being honest. This is like a couple of
Okay.
months, not too long ago. And the enemy, like, people like to threaten your life, and take, well, okay, that's fine. I said, but guess what? If I should leave here today, that's not that doesn't you don't win, and it's not gonna solve your problem because there may not be another me, but there's someone else behind me who can do just what I do, who's
Okay.
right up in line
Okay.
next to do what it is that you are trying to stop from happening. You
Okay.
know, and I'm
Okay.
saying that to say some people will treat you that way because they think, they want what's in you. And you have to
Ooh, say
realize
that one more again, please.
some people want what's in you,
Mm,
not you, but they want what's in you.
that hit
And this
home.
is why you have to be mindful of how well a person wants to know you or does know you or gets to know you. Do you want to know me or you want to know what I do?
Mm,
Because if something should happen to you today, they're going to find somebody else. They're thinking of the void that they now have in the assignment, not in the person. So again, these are things that we tie ourselves to, that we get
yeah.
bound to, and sometimes it is family.
Yeah.
Again, as real as can be with my own child. Jalen is my son, my only child. But guess what? If I was to leave here today, would you miss me or would you miss what I'm doing for you? Because if you miss what I'm doing for you, all it takes is for you to go find somebody else to do it, and you're gonna go back up about your life.
Correct.
But if you miss me, it's gonna alter your life because I'll be a missing piece, So I'm just saying. That's what I said. I had to ask, was you talking to me?
I'm so glad you answered. I'm so
I hope I'm helping somebody.
You helping me. If you ain't helping nobody else, Lord knows you helping me.
I came for you tonight. See, I knew this was the right crowd. I knew this was.
I'm a special
Hey,
breed.
we're twins. We're twinning. But this is why I think these conversations are so important, because these are some things within our family and within our life that we have not, that we don't address, that we don't think about. And we go out repeating these things. And we're all along thinking that we have a problem or we're the problem, and it's not that, honey. You need to untie. Stop obligating yourself to be everybody's, savior. I'm at a place, I'm telling my son, listen, your emergency is not my crisis. It's not.
And no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. And you learn a lot about a person. I wrapped my head around that concept last year. And you learn a lot about a person and how they feel about you and what they think of you when you tell them no. Watch their reaction. Watch their attitude. Especially when they're used to you always saying yes. Okay, I'll do it all. You know what? No, I'll figure it out. I'll work it out for you. I'll get it done. No, don't worry. No, I got you. Now, say no. Girl, you see the horns like this. What's the mean? No. No.
That
you learn so much about a person when you say no. And I really understand that no is a complete sentence. And it has truly become a part of my vernacular on a regular. Okay.
I'm still learning that, and
I can help you like a crash course. I can so help you.
But I believe it. Listen, you already trained me in one way. Now you're gonna train me here too. I don't know if it might be too much. It might be.
Girl,
you already took me on in one. But when it comes to no, I'm gonna be honest. Mommy will say I'm spoiled. My brother and sister say I'm spoiled. Some other people have taken on the thought that I'm spoiled. I'm like, I am not spoiled. I just haven't heard no a whole lot in my life. Doesn't mean that I'm spoiled. I'm just saying. Why you were saying no is a complete. I don't understand no when you like, huh? I'm sorry. But what does that mean when you say? So when you're saying no, you mean like not now. Like what is?
No, if I meant not now, I would say not now.
Okay.
No means nah.
It means just
nah.
I'm gonna try to work on that. I'm gonna try because I'm not really used to it. That you know what?
2 letters, so powerful. Just 2 letters.
They are. You right. You right. It's not like I've never heard it. I just don't understand it all the time. I'm like, because I take it like, are you telling me I can't do something? Like, is that?
No, I'm telling you, I can't do something.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, hold up now, because I'm not sure what you mean. Let clarify and define, because I want to be sure. Yeah, I can't. So I can't have that because you can't do it. I can't have it. Is that what? Because because you can't do it, I'm gonna do it.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem, Dawn. Right there.
I'm trying. Y'all pray for me. Somebody ain't praying.
Oh God, number 2 is number 2 on there. Number 2 or number 4? You number 2. Pray for number 4.
I'm 4 or 4. 2 or 4 is somewhere.
Number 2, I need you to chime in, please, and pray for number 4. Because number 4 got a whole lot going on.
Number 2 is part of the problem. I am his prototype. I'm the next level. I'm his 2.0, the female version. But mommy says family is not where we dump or use. I just had to be honest since we was there. It's transparent night.
I understand.
I'm trying to unleash. I'm trying to untie the ties that bind.
Look at you trying to untie the bar. Dawn, I can't. It's been a long day, Dawn.
I'm helping myself. Physician, heal thyself is what's happening. Mommy says family is not where we dump or use as a revolving door. Amen. Family is a nucleus of genetics that we will not ever find in friends. So accept each other just as we want to be accepted. Uh, I think she's speaking in tongue after that.
Elbow cough.
Okay. Hey, you
I
got this. I'm sorry, I didn't finish my talking tongues class yet. I'm graduating next year. But it's true. It's true. We do. But accepting each other just as we want to be accepted, again, it requires us to be selfless.
yeah.
It's not because some of us want people to still be hurting. We no, rather, let me say this way. Some people want you to heal so that they can still be broken without competition.
Mm,
Because then all of the attention goes to the hurting. The squeaky wheel gets the most oil,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Empty car
So
makes a lot of noise.
hey, now I'm just saying. So we do have to learn how to accept each other just as we want to be
Yeah, to be
accepted. Doesn't
accepted.
mean we have to like it, but we have to accept it.
Accepted. Yeah.
Mom also says, until we mature, it's I need you for what you do for me. Sometimes folk don't understand our value until we have
You
to
to
say
say
goodbye.
goodbye. Come on,
Oh my
Mama
God.
Teresa, you preaching. You
I
preaching
I
for
have
sure.
learned the gift of goodbye. Oh, I got a gift for you. I got you get a whole in your departing package. This is what is in your departing package.
I have a little quote that I stand on, that I will lay on, that I will carry with me until the day I leave this earth. There is power in the pivot.
Oh,
I know how to pivot on my heels. I'm a dancer. I can pivot on
hey
my
now.
toes too. I know how to turn around and walk away. There's so much power in that. And you don't have to say a word.
Nothing. No thing.
Just watch the actions, right? We always say actions speak louder than words. And when you start to treat people the way they treat you, then all of a sudden, what's wrong with you? Well, wait, I'm only stabbing you with the same knife that you just took out my bag.
Right. Take it here. This is yours.
So what happened? This belongs to you and stuff.
Right. And let me lodge it so you don't lose it.
I just people are we're such interesting creatures, Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Us humans are such interesting creatures.
Mm-hmm. We are. We are. And when we get out of that space, when we get out of
Yeah,
we want from others sometimes what we're not
but
willing to give.
true indeed.
You know, you say you want to be accepted as is, totally as you are, completely without reserve, but are you willing to do the same for someone that my word is grace.
Yeah,
Always. I
yeah.
don't have a necessarily, like a preset type and all those other things. Listen, what's the content of your heart? That's what I'm concerned
Right,
with. I ain't worried about how you look so much,
correct.
all these other things. Like, it's wonderful if you're beautiful. That's wonderful. But the real beauty that I want to see is on the inside.
That's right.
And that's with friend, foe, family, male, female relationship, whatever it is. Show me that first. Let me find that first, because I'm going to treat you with the same grace, that I would like
That I would like to
treated
do.
it.
That's right.
And I'm actually going to lead with that grace.
Right,
And that's something that we don't want to do. Like, we
right.
don't want to be the one to start with that. No, I accept you as is. I love you as is. I respect you as is. I hear you. I feel you. I see you. It's okay that this is what it is. Because guess what? I have imperfections too. Guess what? And I want you to embrace and love my imperfections just like I'm going to do yours. And when I hit a tough spot and being able to embrace or understand your perfection, I've learned how to pause in that space and try to communicate and say, well, I don't really understand in this, like, can we talk about, help me?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't need you to defend or necessarily define.
Yes, just
I just would like you to clarify a little bit so I understand, so that I know how to govern myself, so that I can be better in wrapping myself around whatever this is and embracing whatever the issue may be with you, and vice versa. And I would want the same.
and a lot of times, just to tap into that, we don't listen for understanding, like you just said. We listen to defend. Like, I want to understand, so I need you to explain. So just I'm willing to listen. Like
Mhm.
I don't always have to defend my stance. I don't always have to prove that I'm right. I don't always have to get the last word. I want to listen for understanding. And I think that's another thing that's missing in the family, in the nucleus of a family, is we don't listen for understanding. We listen to be correct. We
Right.
listen to be right. It's my way or no way. And that's not how this thing called life rotates.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
just not. And I think we need to learn as a whole, just everybody, just to learn to be better listeners.
Absolutely. And it requires you to stop and want to hear.
And it requires you to shut up.
That part, that part. Now, mommy's laughing.
Yep. I ain't lying, Mama Rose. It requires you to just
Shut it.
shut
Shut your
up.
whole face.
Just be quiet. Give your face a break and keep your lips together.
That's one of the things that I've said this year, and I made some women mad earlier this year when we
Uh-oh.
did the ladies' room, because one of my points, and I left it for the last point,
Mm.
because I was like, ladies, I know y'all gonna want to kick me out of the Queens Club, but you cannot. You
Uh-oh.
ain't got the kind of power, mamas. I'm
Uh-oh.
trying to help my sisterhood in the ladies' room. Okay, ladies' room, where we go and we talk about things that we cannot talk about on the outside, and we help fix each other. You know what goes on the, when we. That's why
That's
we go
right.
to the bathroom together.
Straighten up your crown.
Right. I'm like, ladies, you need to learn to be quiet. Practice silence. Because, and now you got mommy in the background. You heard her? Because until we do, and this is something I had to learn myself, because I'm quick with my mouth, my tongue is sharp, and well, what it is, my eyebrow. Say you got about 26 seconds to okay, because I'm all right now.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that
Whole conversation was had right there.
done. Done. What? you know, but I had to learn how to listen beyond what I didn't want to hear. And we're quick to trigger, and we do this in families too. We do this in families,
Yes.
and we don't address it again because we, like I say, we don't want to hurt each other's feelings,
Feelings.
but I had to learn how to sit and listen through the things that I don't want to hear. And I've learned that I don't have to like it. I've found out the spaces where my family and my friends would say tolerate me,
Mm.
because my temperament and
Mhm.
temper
Mhm.
was, askew a little bit, extra, a lot
Okay. A lot
sometimes.
of bit. A lot of bit.
That the minute you say again, you tell me no, I'm off. Just like don't, please don't. And they're like, nobody wants to deal with that. And one time it was like asking, when the pastor had asked my two best friends, they was like, he said, well, why would you leave her? Like, why didn't y'all go talk to? Why would you? And they was like, have you ever had a conversation with her? They're like, when she gets in a space, it's like she is
Mm.
not. She's sweet, all that cuteness comes with time. But that lady, the minute she hear what she don't want
Don't
to,
want to hear.
oh, it's on, and she will shut you down all the way. And honestly, it was horrible. It's a
Mm.
horrible way to be. And I had to really, and I didn't realize, like, okay, and it's not that they won't tell me, because they're doing, go sit down. That's
Um,
absolutely not right. You know,
uh,
yeah, absolutely. Just as right as you are is as equally as wrong as it is.
no.
Period.
Mhm.
You were right at being wrong. You did wrong well.
Okay.
Those kind. But those are the kind of people that you need around you.
Yeah.
Who are willing to do that. But I had to, um, I had to find out, like, what is going on with me. What is
Mhm.
what is that? And I realized my father was like that. My father did not. I mean, he could ask you a question and you get to the second word and answering him. If the second word was not what he wanted to hear, pop off like no, like quick fire.
Ah, okay.
So I learned that response. And then I had to, here we go with the background music.
I
I
heard
got
the background saying, "Come on."
now she want to hum. Now she want to take it to church. This is a tie that I don't need to be bowed to. I'm gonna break every chain. I'm gonna do
No,
tie
you're
the tie.
not that Jane.
Forget the tie. I'm gonna break the chain. But I did. I realized that I learned that response from my
Mhm,
father, and I had to really stop and get to the root of plucking that out of because I didn't like how it felt, and it's so
mhm,
not like me, and that's
mhm.
not the person that I wanted to be.
Right.
That's not how I wanted them to read me. Like, okay, so I had to learn how to be quiet, and it was a struggle. And then when I was quiet, they'd be like, "You okay?" Now everybody nervous, like, "Okay, who did something? Y'all pissed off? Okay,
Mhm,
y'all acting like
mhm,
you
because
can't
they're
talk."
used to you.
And I'd be like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." But on the inside, my
You're
nerves is,
tired. You're
but it's
tired.
I'm tussling with the Holy Spirit. Me
I
and God, there's a war within my members
know that's right. I know that's right.
because I'm trying, But
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I got into that space because then I realized also how it affects my relationship with my family. When my brothers and sisters can't talk to me, not because they're afraid to talk to me, but because don't nobody want to deal with you with all of that.
Mm.
Nobody wants that. So we gonna text you and do 2 bullet points, and then we gonna
That's
block you
it.
because nobody wants to hear you after
She
that.
said, and then we gonna block you because we
Right.
don't even want to
Because
hear your
nobody want. We
response.
gonna give you a week, and then we gonna ask mommy. Is the dragon asleep now? Is the bunny back? What?
That's
But
funny.
these are the things that
Mm.
these are the
So
things. So we're talking about like you really have to take inventory of yourself
yeah,
and
yourself.
what you are bringing, within relationships in your families. And again, that was a tie that I learned from my father that I had to break so that I could be better, because it was not
Mm-hmm.
conducive to the person I was trying to be. Now that they're
Mm-hmm.
like, how could you be sweet and like evil at the same time? Like,
Mm-hmm. Now, why are you
choose a
like?
struggle, like
Yeah, pick a
something.
side,
Choose a
man.
struggle. Can't,
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
The psalmist says, when you're walking in the one true bloodline, it's
It's
easy
easy
to
to
bond.
bond. So true.
That's true.
That's
That
very
is
true.
true. Come on. See, he be dropping stuff. I'm just saying. That's in the one true blood. It is because there's a steady flow.
Yeah,
It's a steady flow, and it's easy. All and even the bumps that occur in the flow, you still go over them smoothly together.
truly,
And here
truly,
we go
truly.
cutting up. Sometimes tofu.
Just don't cut it, Dawn. Lord have mercy.
Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray.
Oh
I said
Lord.
y'all ain't praying for me. Y'all ain't
Oh
praying.
my God. I love
And
it.
then here comes my background singer. Here comes my background
Look,
singer. Tomorrow. No,
look, Mama Rosa said, no. Look, no is a
no,
complete sentence, Mama
no.
Rose.
And why she gotta capitalize it though? Be
Because
talk
she
to me,
means it and she's yelling. Talk nice
talk to
to
me
me.
nice.
Talk
Talk
to
to
me
me nice.
nice.
I'm trying. Talk to me nice.
Talk
Talk
to
to me
me
nice.
nice.
See what I'm saying? Don't trigger me. Talk to me nice.
That's it.
It's the
Is that quite an anointing? Oh Lord. I'm afraid. I don't know what that means. I'm afraid.
it's the quita. The quita doors, the hood.
Uh, oh, the Shaquita
Talk about me.
Kinolo. That's you.
Or
Shaquita.
the other that other is what he said.
Got you.
That's
Oh,
how
man.
that other side, the hood side. That's
Yeah, that we all
it's the
have.
quetas,
Quita.
just say it. He's a mess. Anae, our Bravet, our number one Bravet. Thank you for joining tonight. She's dropping off, y'all. She had great
Oh,
conversation.
my.
She says she's sorry and have a good evening. We love you,
Yes,
Anae.
ma'am. Yes,
You are the
ma'am.
best of the best. I'm telling you, this has been a great conversation, and it is. Mommy said, Psalmist, put the pen down. Put the pen down.
Oh, God.
This has been amazing conversation, and it is, it's just the beginning of many. Because I think that this is like a topic that we need to continue to talk about. We can never get it all in one night, but
Yes,
because
definitely.
as we talk about it more, there are layers within layers.
Correct.
But it's the ties within our family, like what is binding us
Yeah.
to
What is keeping
one
us?
another, really. And you have to know that you have every right to untie the tie
Yeah. And
when
be
it
okay.
is not serving you,
Learn to get up from
when
the table when you're no longer being fed, right?
absolutely get up from
I'm,
the table.
I'm learning. I'm
Get up.
learning. I'm learning
Get
so
up.
much. I'm really learning a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's tied to negativity, again, we have to become the ones who will change that narrative,
Yeah.
that's attached to it. And we have to remember, our names carry weight. I will forever be a Brathwaite. That means something to me. People know me by my name is different. And they'll be like, oh, when I was in school, um, because again I'm 4'4", so by the time I got to school, all my teachers already had my siblings,
Uh-huh.
and my oldest brother and I, we're 6 years apart, and then 2 or 4 we're 5 years apart, and me and my sister 3 years apart.
Okay.
And so when I would get to class and they say my name, and they call Brathwaite Dawn, and they're like, and they're like, is Perry Donald Desiree? I couldn't even say no. I couldn't. I'm like, yep. Yeah, And they're like, okay. And sometimes based on the relationship they had,
Right.
they'd be like, oh God, okay, it's another Brathwaite, and yeah. And other times it's like, all right, there's a Brathwaite in the house,
Yeah.
But your name carries so much weight, and we have to be strong enough to change the narrative when we find that it's negative, based on these family ties and the things that are really binding us, the things that are causing us to stay in these spaces. Old traditions can be honored and respected, but if they are irrelevant and not conducive to where we are today, we have to be willing
So,
to put them down.
yes.
And we have to be willing to be courageous to start something
Different.
new.
Yeah.
My thing is, also, and I'm going to leave you, to share your final comments, but one of the thoughts that I had, and I do want to share, is how much are we not doing because of these ties that bind us?
Mm.
Again, because sometimes we have to break the mold and do a new thing and redefine our name. So when
Mm.
you're thinking about these traditions, think of, or just the things that are keeping you in a particular space, how much are you not doing because you are tied to honoring someone else
Mm.
above honoring what your purpose and your desire is? So I want to leave space for your final comments.
Listen,
My
that
hot
final comment right there, that final comment right there encapsulated it all, just covered it. You're right. You have me like, yeah, you're making me think. You're definitely pushing my thinking about a lot of things. And what comes to mind for me is what do you want to be known for?
mm,
Like what do you want your legacy in your family circle to be?
right, right.
Because it doesn't have to be what everyone else's was, right? And again, it goes right back to what you just said. Are you willing to kind of step out of that box that you've been placed in involuntarily and start a new shape? Are you willing to step out of that box? What do you want to be known for? And
That's
it's
good.
okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay.
It's
And
okay.
that was for me more so than anything. Affirmations for self. It's okay to be different because I'm
It
different.
is.
Lord knows I'm different. Lord knows I'm different.
He purposed it that way.
He sure did.
He
He
purposed it that.
sure did.
But there's beauty in difference.
Absolutely.
When you go to the garden, if there's a rose is a rose, but there are different kinds of roses.
Yes.
Lord, here goes the choir again in the
I
back.
heard it. Come on.
Because Mama Rosa, my favorite rose is the multicolored one. If you've ever seen them,
I have seen.
the one that has all of the colors in it, and each one, although it has the same colors, the pattern is different. But that's my favorite because it just encompasses everything and it holds a beauty of its own. And sometimes it's like if you've never had them, like in personally, every once in a while I will treat myself to just that, because they're expensive now, but
Yeah.
I'm worth it. So
Come on.
th-
You better come on now, lady.
baby, you best to know,
Come
you
on
know.
with yourself, honey.
I treat look, I'm out of a whole nother box these days.
I think-
You know what I'm saying? You already know. You already know. This chick has been on a journey.
Oh, girl.
So, but
Yeah,
the beauty in it is that they're different,
absolutely.
and I love that, flowers um are each they each hold their own beauty and their own purpose. Because how boring would it be if they were just all the same? And
That's
that's the
exactly
same with us. How boring would it be if we were all the same? We're not meant to be the same, so we don't have to remain obligated to the expectations that our
yeah,
families have put on us.
100%.
Be bold enough to live your purpose.
Yes,
Trust me, they will understand.
yes.
They will
Love,
absolutely
I love it.
understand, and if they don't, it's okay.
That's a them problem.
Right. They will still be all right.
Right. So that's right.
You
That's right.
know, Mama Rosa says, let's stay together.
Come on.
Psalmist the voice says, I was going to start singing the song.
Me too. Let's stay together.
Come on. Come on. Hey. Right. But you know what? That's right. Loving you, whether it's good
Love
or
and you
bad.
Come
How
on.
you're sad. Sing, mommy.
Okay.
Don't play. Let's stay together.
Don't play with it.
So
Don't
you
play
done got
with
me
it.
to groove now. You know, like, all right. For 60 seconds.
That's all we needed.
I'll
You
live
got
it.
it.
I'll
Time
live
is
for
up.
60 seconds. The psalmist says there's power in the name.
Yes, it is. Come on.
There's a woman of God. There is power in your words. Flow with the grace that God has given you. Amen. I shall, sir. I shall. Amen.
Amen.
I shall. We
Amen.
shall.
Amen.
Amen. We gonna stay together.
Yes.
And She Fire,
Thank you.
welcome, says hello, ladies. Friend of Miss Sheila here. Okay. Hey, She Fires, thank you for joining us on tonight. This is Thursday night with me, your host, Lady Dawn B, and I have my good friend, my sister girl, my poetic partner, Antoinette Sanders, who I could not have done this conversation without. Um, Someone said, "My God." I was in my flow. Don't do it. I sing for real. Just say it.
Listen, I know I sound like Barry Pendergrass because we're gonna combine Barry White and
It's
Teddy
all right. I
Pendergrass.
had you covered. So we can do it again. Hey, that ain't nothing. It's mommy's fault. She started it. She started it. They're gonna talk about that ain't church. Oh, God wants us to stay together. He said, forsake not the fellowship. That's what he said. We fellowship in song. And She Fire says, a beautiful singing voice. Oh, thank you, She Fires. We hope that you join us again and again and again. But yes, let's stay together. We really need to do that. Again, don't be afraid to be you, because you are the only you that God made. And there is purpose in you being here and you being just who you are. I truly believe that we should live off the key to living an abundant life. Excuse me, as God says, and living this life more abundantly, as we spoke about earlier. We don't want to stay in survival mode. We want to move from survival to living, to life. And when we move to living, we don't want to just live, but we want to live more abundantly. And I truly believe that the way you live in full abundance is being able to walk in your full purpose. And it's your purpose. That's right. It is Mama Rosa's fault. She started. She shouldn't have put that song up there. I got a song for everything. See, I'm trying to close. I feel Baptist now. I got my third Baptist closing. But truly walk in the authenticity that is you. I am who I am. This is what you get. You never know that I am a party in a box all by myself.
That's right.
And I always talk about, yes, Lord. And I own that. I refuse to shrink into the shadows any longer. I'm going to live out loud. I diminished myself and my voice for a long time, and I decided that I was going to live again. So now I'm living life more abundantly. I owe it to myself.
That's right.
And you owe it to yourself. So untie the binds or unbind the ties. Whichever way is proper.
Whichever way it's going to
Because
work.
some people listen.
Untie it. Let
You
it
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Let it
Because
go.
it's different for everybody.
That's
It's different. It's
Dawn,
different.
I'm not
It's
fooling with
different.
you,
Listen,
Dawn.
loose here. That's all. It's loose
Right.
here.
He said I have a sermon for everything. I know that's right.
He does.
I
Y'all
know.
about to find out. But in all seriousness,
Yes,
truly
absolutely.
untie whatever is binding you.
Yeah.
Even if it's the root, even if the root of it is connected to family. The only obligation that you have is to God, if you believe, because everybody's not a believer, but this is still principle for everyone. The only obligation that you have is to God, and the very first obligation after that you have is to yourself. You have to do the things that are going to fulfill you and make you happy at the end of it all. Again, family will understand they're either going to get with you or get away from you.
That's right.
So you might as well lighten your load and walk into your truth. Simon says, walk with Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B family. Tune in next time. Let's go. He has his own radio talk show. That's why. So I'm
Love it. I
speaking his
love
voice.
it. I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
it's gonna be fire when he comes on in person.
I
I
love
just
that.
might have to just, I promise
Love
you.
that.
I promise you. I love. Oh, mommy said, make sure you. Yeah, if you think you need your pump with me, you. Yeah, you're gonna need the nebulizer with him and the
Okay.
vaporizer. All
Yeah.
the eyes. You're gonna need them
All the
all.
eyes is.
All of them. All of them.
I
But
love
I
it.
want to thank everybody for tuning
Yeah.
in and joining us on tonight. I really do so appreciate what you do and you being here. You know why? Because we can gain a lot of things and we can lose a lot of things, but time is one thing we will never get back. And I count it precious. I do not take it for granted. So I appreciate when you take the time to spend these 60 minutes or so with me, hearing what we have to say. My prayer is always that something that we say and has been said here is edifying to you into your life so that your tomorrow is even better than today. Every day, live your best life. You owe it to yourself, not to anyone else. Loose yourself and be free from the things that are binding you, that are keeping you tight and bound. And I end with this saying over next Thursday, I will be in Atlanta. So I'm not sure whether it will be on or not. Um, however, still tune in. Always tune in. Like, subscribe, and share. Please, please, please like, subscribe, and share. And make sure that you are tuned in because there is great content on here. Pastor Sheila, who is the queen bee of the Bravo with Sheila Network, right here on YouTube. She is on every Tuesday. She's been on pretty much every day this week. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Do that trio. We do things in triplicate over here. We do the threes. So make sure that you do that so you don't miss any of the great, amazing content and conversations that are going down here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. And if you need ministry, if you need, a good word from the Lord, if you're looking for something to encourage you, go ahead across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries channel, also here on YouTube, and you will find good word over there. She teaches. You have Pastor Rosa, who's Mama Rosa, who's Rosa Griffin up in here, who is really my mama for real, for real. She birthed me. She has her own channel that happens every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. over on the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. So you want to make sure you like, subscribe, and share there also. So make sure you're here next Thursday. I'm sure we're gonna do something amazing. Just still, I might pop on still, even though I'm being ATL, but I love y'all like that. So I'm gonna make sure we do something. But even after that, I'm excited because we'll be back in November. By that time, it'll be November. And oh, it's gonna be a good month because November is my birthday month. So we're gonna celebrate all month long. And we are kicking it off. Yes, ma'am. Let's
Oh,
don't make me go back there.
okay.
I'm saying, okay, I'm back. I'm back. But we are kicking November off with the ladies' room, and I will be bringing on some amazing women. Lady Deshawn Beal, my sister girl. Also, Dr. Indy Brown, my other sister girl. Anthony, partner, you always got a spot. So, because we're going to talk real. We're going to keep it real. So look for the thumbnail. Be prepared. It's going to be good. November is going to be hot. And then that's how the November is starting. November is going to end with my village, my girls, my writing group. We're going to bring all of the Harlem girls in. We are going to bring in the Harlem Girls Nation to talk everything that is Harlem Girl. Everything HG is what we're going to do. So be prepared for that, because we have a host of books that have been written. We're going to share, talk, chop it up, and we are going to have a great time. So I look forward to November happening. Welcome, Landon. He said, love just people popping up or calling. Was just thinking about you. Thank you. Thank you, Landon, for coming on and popping in. Your presence is important. We do appreciate it. So I want to thank you all again for being on with us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you so very much. And my last comment I end with is this: learn to love everything about you. Learn to love everything about you. Then go teach the world how to do the same. So be encouraged and go be great. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you to my partner for joining us tonight. It was let's stay together.
Oh,
I'm just saying. So let's go. Loving you weather. I can't find my music. Weather. So I gotta be the music. Times are good.
bad, happy,
Be sad.
all right, Dawn, we'll be on here all night singing. We'll be on here all night singing.
We will be. We will be.
Yes.
That's all right. I appreciate y'all. Have a great evening, everybody. And we are out.
Good night, everybody.
Deuces. Hang out 1 second, partner.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a great night, everyone. Remember to like, subscribe. I can't get the word out. Like, subscribe, and share. Invite a friend. Make sure you join us again on Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B here on the Bravo Network. Peace and blessings.
Love is the way. Love is the way. Love is the way.